The 10th of July 2001 at 3:35 p.m., the Australian police received a call from a panicked 20-year-old boy called Surf who came back from a party, discovered that all his family has been murdered. What happened to the Gonzales family? Here began the investigation. Teddy, the father aged 44 and the mother Loiva aged 43 met. In 1980 they will have their first child, a boy called Surf, who will be followed by his sister Claudine. Teddy is described as a hard worker who was born in poor family of 4 children. Despite that situation, he was able to go to university and study economic and political science for later to work in the real estate sector. In 1990, after a big earthquake in Philippines, the family Gonzales decided to leave the country to emigrated to North Ryde in Australia, Sydney. In Australia, Teddy decided to take a law degree which enabled him to help other Filipino who came in Australia to build a life. One wintry evening in July 2001 in North Ryde, New South Wales, 21-year-old Surf Gonzales had gone home shortly before midnight after dinner with a friend. As he entered the front door of his affluent suburban home, he found his father Teddy, mother Mary Loiva Josephine and teenage sister Claudine in a pool of blood covered with multiple stab wounds. On the wall of the living room were the words, "F off Asians. KKK," scrawled in spray paint. Surf dialed 000 crying into the phone, "My family's been killed." It seemed racism was the primary motive for the killings. He later told his neighbors that he tried unsuccessfully to resuscitate his family, but the authorities found this puzzling. There was barely any blood on him, save for some on the soles of his shoes and a few spots on his trousers, when the police and the ambulance arrived a few minutes later. On the day of the funeral, as the bodies of his family lay in their caskets, his family and friends felt an eerie chill. As Gonzales delivered the eulogy for his father, he closed his eyes and began singing the Mariah Carey, Boys II Men duet, One Sweet Day, without any music accompaniment. Gonzales had a sweet and innocent face, but by all accounts, his life was controlled by his close-knit Filipino family and devout Catholic upbringing. The pent-up tension was starting to take its toll on the young man. A few months before the murders, his family had threatened to disown him. He was also about to be expelled from his second attempt at a degree due to bad grades. Reports also emerged that a neighbor had seen him on the night of the murders, fleeing the house around 7 p.m. Police theorized that he did this to clean himself and to get rid of the 2 kitchen knives, the murder weapons. He told his dinner companion that he was out all day driving around Blacktown, searching for his friend's house. Little did he know that both his father's client as well as his aunt had seen his green Ford Festiva in the driveway of his house earlier that day, destroying his alibi and arousing the suspicion of the authorities. Shortly after the murders, the Sydney Morning Herald reported that Gonzales had placed deposits on luxury cars and moved into a fancy apartment in Chatswood. He even advertised to sell his parents' cars, without asking permission from his grandparents, suspicious behavior for a grieving son. The police discovered that Gonzales had been planning to kill his family for some time. He had been extensively researching the internet for poisonous plants and had tried unsuccessfully to poison his mother earlier that year. Following his trial, Gonzales, dubbed the baby-faced killer, was given 3 life sentences in 2004 for the murder of his father, mother and sister. Murdering his entire family minus that was how Gonzales had repaid his father for saving his life, all those years ago.